So this is part 3 and the final for this painting. I was glad that I could wrap it up in 3. So nothing has been done, I don't think, since the last time. And I'm doing a little bit more detail on the cat, getting in the different colors of fur. Makes the cat look striped. And I'm using a burnt umber as that darker brown against the olive green. And you can see with this, the olive green underneath looks like the kind of brown that a cat might be. That I've actually seen cats with that sort of color. I've never thought about olive green before, so it does have that brown tendency, which is nice too. I'm still thinking about that hand that I talked about last time. And I'm sort of putting it off, I think, because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, and I've been giving it a lot of thought. So back to the cat. I hope in the meantime, between these two, that you've been painting or doing something creative that you like to do. It seems like I'm in the winter time here, so it seems a good time because we're in the house and I'm not gardening, and I have time to paint. And I have a new mystery book, so that's been fun to start. The Patient in Room 18. Maybe there'll be something in there that will prompt a painting that's more on the eerie side, which I like. Now I'm just going about and getting a little bit more detail, trying to finish things up. Just doing a little bit extra work on the face. And some work on the bird. Flipping as I go, per usual. I never realized how many times I flipped the piece of paper when I was painting until I started making videos about the process. And it happens even when the painting isn't really wet, when you just want a different angle, or you might want it right in front of you. And when you turn it upside down, it does give you a look at how balanced sides are. And I don't mean perfect, because people aren't perfect. Faces are different. I have one ear that's longer than the other. Things like that. And I like to include those in the paintings. I don't want the images to be perfect. But when you turn it upside down, it does give you a different perspective, which is good. So back to work a little bit on the teapot at the bottom. And now I'm trying to decide on the color of that inset piece. And I had decided to do kind of a light turquoise just to see. And as I started to put it down, I did like the way it looked. So I'm blending a light blue with a stronger turquoise, and that's what's going in that center section there. I wasn't sure that I was going to like that color next to the collar, that olive green with the burnt sienna polka dots, but once I got it down, I did like it. So, and I'm just carrying it through down there on that little piece. And then I had decided to mix Naples yellow with a little bit brighter lemon yellow next to it. It kind of brightens the Naples, and yet the Naples brings down the intensity of the lemon, which I liked. So it's hard to see, I think, here. I'm looking at a very small screen while I'm doing the voiceover, and it looks a lot just like the Naples yellow that's up in the kind of sky area, but in person it's not that exact. It's that shade and that tone a little bit, but it's a little bit different because of the lemon yellow. The sky area is just the Naples by itself. I'm working around those vines that are coming up around out of that Aladdin's lamp, which seems sort of an odd idea now, Why would vines be coming out of a lamp? But there you have it. You know how your thought processes go while you're drawing the piece, and it just comes to you and you put it in and you like it and it gets left. I wouldn't want to have to explain it to someone. But for me it just works. The main part of this story, and in the title, is Solar Catwalk. And that whole bottom of the skirt where you can see the sun, I haven't put them in yet, but there'll be planets around the sun. So it will look a little bit like the cat is tethered to the lamp, and the lamp is somehow related to the solar system there. Just kind of a little magical story. Making that right side just a little bit more intense with the Naples yellow. I'm intending to come back in when everything is finished and completely dry and just put in a few little wisps of white at the bottom and up around the head area of the person, so that you get an idea that there's just a little either mist or cloud in that area. I think it kind of adds to that magical look. I do it in a lot of my paintings, so I don't know, it just brings it together for me a little bit and makes the story a little stronger. I wanted this hand on the other side, as you can see, to look like it's hanging on to part of the fabric of what is the background of the solar system, and I hadn't been real happy with that, but as I go along here, I finally get it to work the way I want to. So it looks like a piece of the skirt is being pulled a little bit. Like we've seen sometimes in drawings, early drawings of the night sky, where they make it look almost like fabric, where it has a texture that you can move around and it can layer or lie flat. So I'm playing with that idea a little bit. And as you've seen all along for this process and the process of the earlier painting, I am moving all the time between different parts of the painting so that it seems like everything works together. Something that started to bother me too as I was painting, maybe to get my mind off that left hand, I don't know, but was the collar area. It just wasn't blending very nice into that. The one that's right around her neck was not blending very well into the bigger collar. So I completely changed that. I painted the piece around her neck a burnt sienna, and then I took white and put stripes vertically on that, and I like that a lot better. You can see it more clearly here. I'm putting in some of the leaves on that vine. So there is a vine that comes up on either side of the lady and also through the middle. There's like a little button between the top that's turquoise and that now sort of yellow apron, or Naples yellow apron. And so there is a button there, and in the buttonhole the vines come through that. So I don't know how apparent that is. Once I look at it while it's large and I can see it on YouTube when it's published, then I get a better idea. But unfortunately I've already done the voiceover by then, so just do my best to figure out what it's going to look like. In person it is very clear, so. And just continuing with the leaves and still thinking about what I'm going to do with that problematic hand. It's funny because in the drawing, I liked the way that it had turned out. It just looked right, and then when I painted it, I thought, well, I'm not sure, it's getting a little bit muddy, and the more that I painted it, the worse it got. So it's going to take some kind of major surgery over there. But this is the great thing about doing a painting. If you don't like it at any stage, you just keep painting. You don't have to accept, well, I don't like that hand, but there it is, and I'll just mat it and frame it. No, I want to fix it, and I can. I know that I can. And I think this is the other thing too. Someone had mentioned in the comments about confidence in painting, and I had messages about even making YouTubes. And I think, I was very shy about talking on YouTube. I haven't done that before, and I hadn't painted in front of people before. I don't teach, so I don't have that experience, and it was a little bit scary. But the more that you do it, and plus you don't really have the audience right there, you just have the camera, but there is something about knowing that it is going to go out to an audience. So a little bit you feel like the audience is there. It's hard for me to explain, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has felt that way. So if you are thinking about doing a YouTube on whatever it is, it has been good in many ways that I didn't expect it was going to be good. So, still working on those leaves. And just, making sure that the details, like of the bird and the feathers of the bird, are where I want them. And then I had kind of a light turquoise with these little drops that are coming down from the shoulder area into the skirt, but they weren't pronounced enough. That light turquoise with the Naples yellow was just kind of lost. So I went back and put some Payne's gray, and you can see that it's much darker now, and I like the way that looks. I think you really needed to tie in that skirt with the upper area, and those little drops coming down were the idea that I had to tie those two sides in. The other thing, in talking about the slowness of how I work, all of these videos are speeded up. So to me, when I'm watching them, it looks like maybe someone normally painting, but I sure don't paint that quickly. It really does. It's kind of a labor-intensive thing. And as I've said, you sort of get in a zone with it, and I like that, so it doesn't matter to me that it slows things really down. And here's the mat, and that's the end of the painting. I hope that everyone's enjoyed it, and like I said, you're doing something creative. So have a great week. Take care. Thanks for watching.